makes me sad in social cohesion places where you only have this one token Indian and this one token white person, as if this country doesn't have this variety. You know, so I don't get happy when I see one Indian in the room. I know we're not doing the work enough. And I don't get happy when I see one white person in the room. It means that we're not calling everybody to the table. And so people will think that I get shocked by that fact. I don't. Because part of our inclusivity is bringing the others to the table. That's right. So that our children will never have to be feeling discomfort around white or Indian people. So that they will not feel discomfort around us. It's a very important trigger for me. So I just would like to ask you to welcome Professor Vern Harris, who is representing the Nelson Mandela Foundation. So here's the other thing. You know, for years people think the Nelson Mandela Foundation is one of the biggest foundations in the world, actually, in Africa. And when you can get a professor who couldn't get a flight and he drives all the way from Joburg to be here by 9 o'clock in the morning, because he needed to be here to understand what I've been saying on the phones. You can't get So when you hear of the Nelson Mandela Foundation, think of people who can drive in the middle of the night to get here at 9 o'clock and be on time. That's the kind of commitment you have to make to any cause. Anything you put money to, you can't leave it to chance. You have to put your presence there. Siaboma Prof, over to you.
Hello everybody, Sanbona. I'm really honored to be representing the Nelson Mandela Foundation, and thank you for having me here today. Siyabonga kakhulu. It's not right to ask me to speak now when the food is waiting, right? So let me not say too many things. I thought I would just share 3 things about Madiba that you might not know, which could be significant for the work that you will be doing as facilitators. Okay, so 3 things about Madiba that you might not know. His circumcision name. Does anybody know what he was named during his circumcision? No. That was his birth name. His circumcision name was Dalibunga, which I think means to convene conversation, dialogue, right? And that I think is very significant because many of our young people, they say Madiba was a sellout because he negotiated and he made compromises. But I think it's important to understand that Madiba came from a polity, Tembuland, and a family that for centuries had been known for being mediators, for negotiating. And even when those white settlers first came into the Eastern Cape, Madiba's family was negotiating, getting into alliances, often against other people living in the Eastern Cape. So if we say Madiba was a sellout in the 1990s, there's a longer history that we have to reckon with and make sense of. Second thing you might not know about Madiba. Do you remember 2004 when he had a press conference and he said, "I'm tired. It's time for me to retire from retirement. Don't call me, I'll call you." You remember that one? Yes. So, I mean, I was working very closely with him at that time, 2004. And one of the conversations was, "Madiba, shall we just close the organization down?" Because it was all about him, his post-presidential office. That's what we were. And he said, no, I want you to keep doing the important work. Madiba, what is the important work? He said, no, you must convene dialogues. That's why we've contributed to this workshop. And I remember very clearly the one thing that he said to us in terms of advice. He said, if you get people in a room and they all agree with each other, that's not dialogue. That's a chat. And he said, I don't want you to be doing chats. And so what we've tried to do in the work that we've done in the last 15 years is to create spaces that are safe enough for people who don't even want to see each other to come in and listen to one another. Because for Madiba, that was the way you find solutions. Last one, third thing you might not know about Madiba. When I listen to people talking about him and you read all the books and you look at those documentaries and the Long Walk to Freedom movie, people usually talk about all his strengths as a leader. But I got to know Madiba, whose, for me, greatest characteristic of being a leader, the greatest quality, was that he acknowledged his mistakes and his weaknesses, and he tried to learn from them. I think in the work that you're going to do, you will make mistakes. You're not called to be perfect, but you are called to see the mistakes and to grow as you learn from them. So, Madiba had weaknesses. Well, one marriage failed, two marriages failed. He had weaknesses, and we know, and if a marriage fails, it's not one person in the right and one person in the wrong. Madiba wasn't a very good partner, but he was trying to learn. You know, he was an attorney, and he set up a law firm with O.R. Tambo. Do you want to know how many university exams he failed before he got his law degree? How many do you think? Now, I must remind you, he started studying law at Wits University in 1949, and he got his law degree from UNISA, 1989. So how many exams do you think he failed?
Hundreds.
34. Now, when my team of researchers managed to put that together, because they had to go to Wits, they had to go to University of London, UNISA, they said, oh, no, we can't talk about this. But for me, that's what we want to talk about. Madiba failed. He got things wrong. Many things didn't come easily to him. But he had that determination and that clarity on what his purpose was. And I hope you have that clarity and that you've learned things from this workshop that will be of value to you in the future. And I hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Siyabonga.
Since Abel can stand in the light, I must also stand. The whole time you never asked me to stand in the light. I stand in the light. No, please, a round of applause again. And I think, facilitator, there's going to be some evaluation that is going to be given. I would like to use people's feedback, whether it's by WhatsApp, whether it's by whatever, if they can give the feedback so we can also use that as proof of evidence that what we're doing here has an impact. It's important. I need proof of evidence. I don't just need people telling me it's a nice day. I need your proof of evidence, and that's important.